Okay, so men's cut, comb the hair straight back. It's gonna be a combination of a 180 and a 90-degree haircut, okay? So I wanna find my fifth section first, correct? So the best way to do that is hold your comb flat on the side of the head and see where that hair splits, okay? Wherever that hair naturally splits, that is where your side and your top are divided. That's where they are. And like I said, everybody's head shape is different. I don't want you to try to pick out a 2-inch slice here, and that's not it. You have to find the side on everyone's head, okay? So by doing this straight vertical comb all the way around the sides, you're gonna see where that hair just naturally wants to split. And you wanna do that all the way around. Ooh, I'm gonna fall. Okay, now this is always gonna be our 3 o'clock section, okay? All the way around here, this whole horseshoe is gonna be your 3 o'clock. You're pulling all of this straight out vertically and cutting it at whatever length they want to, okay? You can still go back, obviously around the ears, you're gonna do a little bit closer. Or if they want it over the ears, you can leave it longer, but you're gonna fine tune those little things at the end of your haircut, okay? Same thing with, the nape area, whether you decide to fade it out or whatever you do, you're gonna shape up those areas, the nape and the ears. But for the most part, our 180 is going to be here in our fifth section, the whole top of the head. And that's gonna vary depending on the person, okay? But like I said, for a men's cut, this is where they're gonna care about the length. So when you ask them how long do you want it on top, they're either gonna tell you, I use a 3 guard on my clippers, okay? So this is gonna be a 3 here, then this will be a 1. This section here is gonna be a 2. So you're going 3, 2, 1, right? Same thing, even if we're cutting it, this is gonna be our shortest, this is our longest, right here's where we're blending, okay? Okay, so this mannequin's already pretty short in front, so I'm gonna leave the length there. I'm gonna go straight across, pull it straight up, make sure that it is actually straight, because I don't know what was done on here. I think it was a 90. So when I pull all this up, I'm pulling to the center of the head, I'm pulling straight up from that section, and I'm gonna cut just a straight horizontal line, okay? I'm gonna work my way back across and inch my way back using that as my guide and match it. So when I'm done, I should be able to turn this upside down and it's gonna be a flat top, okay? And I'm only doing the middle right now. I'm gonna go to these sides and pull them straight up over here also, okay? So that I know I'm getting all the way across this section. Ooh, these scissors are sticky. They're like wet. So again, I'm not over directing it in any way. I'm not pushing it forward and cutting it. I'm just coming straight up from where the hair comes off that person's head and cutting it. Otherwise, you gradually get longer if you're not careful. When in reality, you're actually, because of the shape of the head, this hair is going to get shorter. right? So if I cross-check it and I look at it this way, it should be getting from long to short so that I can stay horizontal, okay? Please don't ever do that on a person. But on a mannequin, she can have a dirty comb. Are we familiar with the term cross-checking? What does that mean? If I cut vertically, how do I cross-check?
Horizontally.
Horizontally.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if I'm cutting horizontally, I can go back in vertically and check it. And you're just going through and making sure that it's actually all the same length. That just went down the shirt. Ugh, so long. So when I go back in and I cross-check it this way, I can see more clearly where I might have mistakes. So now, when I turn this upside down, I should be able to see like a flat top. Okay. Yes, does look a tiny bit rounded right here, and maybe in the center, I'm a little off right there. There. Okay. All right. So now this is my longest section. Okay. So now, looks pretty. So now we're gonna go vertically and do our 3 o'clock. Okay. So from here, I'm gonna go around at pulling that hair at a 90-degree angle all the way around right here. I'm gonna go as short as I can, just using my fingers. Usually you're gonna have what's called a gentleman's cut, and this is what it is. It's just a short finger length cut that's, you don't use really any clippers. And I'm working my way around the entire head. Vertically, a 1/2 inch at a time. And remember, you should move every single time you do this. A new cut, a new subsection means you move, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be tempted to over direct that hair where it does not naturally fall, and it's going to be incorrect. Again, my fingers should be vertical, my shears should be vertical, not angled in any way, just pulling that hair straight out and cutting it vertically, okay? Looking better and better, huh? Like a mullet. Gonna get you to a mullet in no time. Now, I do find it difficult to get around this other side of them because it's not comfortable to be in their face. And literally my arm is like right here, you know? But you just have to do it, okay? So these are some of the things that, you know, you want to be able to do it differently so that you're not staring them in the face, but there's no good way to do it that I know of. Because then if I let go, I'm gonna have to completely change my finger position and come over here this way and try to cut it this way. See, and it just doesn't work. So you have to get in their face. And I am making sure, because my only guide is, you know, my previous section. So even with these short pieces, you want to make sure you can see your guide behind the hair that you're cutting, okay? Okay, it's a true mullet. All right, so now I'm just gonna blend. So I'm gonna go right in this 130 section here all the way around, and I'm gonna blend it. So I'm either going to blend it round, if that's what they want, or if this is really long, then I have to leave the length and pull all this hair at 3 o'clock and cut it there. If they would rather leave this long, then that's what I do, typically. I'll leave it more squared off, I guess you could say. But you see that I'm not cutting this hair again. I'm still, even though I'm cutting this piece, I'm bringing it at 3 o'clock and cutting it. I'm not cutting it round like a 90. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you see what I mean about my left arm never moves I don't ever put it down. I just stay frozen. That way I know I'm getting the exact same consistency all the way around. If you put your hands down and you like take a break, you're gonna lose your place. So it's really better to just stay right where you are. Finish that whole section all the way around, all the way around. Okay, so my whole top is done. The hairlines on these things are really stupid looking, so it's very hard to duplicate what you would do on a person. But typically what I do is right here, I pull this on their face using my comb, and I will blend it. I will cut this excess off like a face frame so that it's a softer line around their face right here. And then when they comb it back, it just lays better, okay? If you are gonna go over the ear, use the ear as the guide. It is very hard to want to cut on someone's skin, but you have to. And you just literally, your bottom blade rests on their skin flat, not going in, but nice and flat all the way around. And I leave the blade on the skin, and I just go around the ear. And I'll use my comb also to pull the hair down where I want it, and I get it, all of those little hairs around the ear so that I know there's not a random hair that's going to be sticking out somewhere. I hate that. Especially behind the ears, I feel like people leave little long hairs for some reason because they don't want to move that person's ear out of the way, but you just have to. Then if it's still too long, you can use your comb and angle it a little bit so that you can trim that a little, and it'll kind of fade into your finger length cut a little bit right around the ear. And I will do that on both sides to where I know I've cut them symmetrically. The little sideburns, that's really a design decision, or you know, they can tell you where they want their sideburns. I personally hate this all the way up to here thing. I think that looks really, really stupid. That's just me personally. I like to leave a little bit of sideburn coming down, and then they can tell you if they want it longer or shorter, right? But I won't ever cut a sideburn all the way up above the ear, ever. I always bring it down to like the top third of the ear. And I will look at where I am. So if it's this little bump or whatever you're doing on this side of the ear, put your comb there, and then you'll know, okay, I'm right here. That's where I cut my line. Okay, so now on the other side, I'm gonna find that same little nodule on their ear, put my comb there, and that's where I'm gonna cut their sideburn. So you could even cut their sideburns with clippers later, or your edgers. I use a peanut as my edger. I love the peanut. I don't think there's anything better in my opinion. Of course, barbers use all kinds of different things to edge.
What's a peanut? Yeah, what's a peanut?
It's a brand of edger.
Oh.
And it actually looks like a peanut shell. And
Like
it's
that
like,
shape?
it's just like this big.
Oh.
Yeah. I have one in my bottom drawer down there. Will you get it?
I was like,
It's a little white and pink one. Yeah, and it's just your little edgers. They're just real, they're just a little 1-inch clipper that's just easy to go, you know, around the ear and stuff. But it's a peanut. All right, so now I'm going to go down the nape area below the occipital bone, and I'm doing the exact same thing where I'm cutting palm to palm as short as I can. and I have my guide in my hand, and I'm pulling it at a 90 and cutting it. Isn't it in the very bottom drawer or no?
Yeah, but there's 2 drawers and I can't figure out which one you're talking about. But I found it.
Yeah. So this is the peanut. And I don't know why they call it that, they just do. But you can see like the outside has like,
Oh, it is like a.
it looks like a peanut.
Oh, that's so clever.
So, but it's just a peanut and I love it. And it's just really good about edging. And I'll use this like if people want me to trim their beard or their mustache or their eyebrow hairs are a little crazy, you know, I'll just use that.
Do a straight cut,
Okay. Okay, so now I'm just doing this vertical all the way around in the nape area, and I'm done. So what I want you to do is, if you have a long mannequin, I want you to just do a 180 where you're pulling everything up and cutting it, all matching, okay? So when I see it, turn it upside down, it should be flat or perfectly horizontal, okay? Or if you only have a short mannequin, do this men's cut, but I don't want you to cut 6 inches off your mannequin like I'm doing right now, okay? I'm doing this for demonstration purposes, so if you can do another 90 and practice those angles, then that's what I want you to do. Do another 90 first, okay? You can do a men's cut just like this, just leave it longer, you know, just don't, you know, get the most you can out of your mannequins, because once they're gone, they're gone. And we have no clue if we're gonna actually be able to practice on people ever again, because the world is ending. So, for now anyway, you definitely want to practice this. So even if you're just doing a basic 90 again, you know, if you did it to 4 inches last time, do it to 3 inches this time. Then go to 2. Then do your men's cut, okay? Once it's down as short as we can get it with our fingers, we move on to clippers, okay? And this is the exact same thing, you know, basically that you're doing with clippers. You're going, this is your longest, this is your shortest. You work your way down everything in between in those same sections. So if this is a 6, then this is gonna be a 5, this will be a 4, this will be a 3, this will be a 2, right? And you just literally changing your guard and that's it. Okay. And I'm gonna get permission in the spring and see if we can't start bringing people in, even if it's just faculty here at Del Mar, giving out free haircuts or something. So that,
I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah.
because we need to have people. Like those of you who took summer school, normally we have back to school cuts for kids, and we do like 200 haircuts in a week. Yeah. So y'all missed out on that, and I can tell you that is really fun. It's stressful, but it's fun, you know, because it's a free haircut and they can't complain. And and it's super fast pace. So like we have a line of people waiting, and it's kind of cool. Okay, so when I go back in with my, you know, deciding on what I'm going to do in the nape area, I always use my comb as my line, and I cut over my comb. So I'll pull this hair down and cut down here with my shears, or with my edger, my clippers, my peanut. I can just cut a clean line. I'll use my razor, my feather razor, on the neckline to clean up all these little crazy hairs that grow down their neck and everything like that. I always go right at the t-shirt line. So I'll use my razor all down here and clean off all the skin. Okay, so that is basic men's cut. It looks a little funny because it's got patches of blonde in there, so it looks a little weird. Obviously I don't have any product in it, but this is your basic men's cut. Easy? Questions? No?